Thermal Mustard and the Dijon 5, you can look us up online. We're playing a gig in the Old Fruit Market on the 21st of December, so get your tickets after the day if you fancy it. Right, everybody get over here, hurry up. That means you won't be partaking, oh hurry up.
Don't make me come down there.
Don't be an amber gambler mommy, don't be an amber gambler daddy, don't be an amber gambler granny, don't be an amber gambler granddad, don't be an amber gambler.
Because it is mid-October and I am filming this, but here we are. So I have some clips that I filmed during the month of September. However, I didn't do any sit down kind of things, clips talking about any books, but I thought I would just explain some of the clips because I don't know, I feel some of them look a bit random. The clips at the beginning are from a bridge opening kind of festival. There was a new bridge connecting two parts of the city together and they threw like a festival on each side and it was very, very cool. So at the beginning I've kept the sound in because there was this really great band playing and they were so funny, so engaging with the crowd. They had us moving from like left to right, it was so much fun and the sun came out and then they did like a demonstration of the bridge swings open. I didn't even know that. So that was actually a very exciting day because it was super sunny as well and it was just such a nice day and just so many people came out. It was actually kind of wild, but that was very nice. And then I believe I have some clips in there of being at a bookshop. I believe it was probably Voltaire and Rosso, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I have a video on my channel where I kind of did a video. It was kind of one of the, yeah, it was when my first year of living in Glasgow, I want to say, and I did like 4 bookshops in Glasgow, so it basically features I think 2 of those same bookshops. The bookshop that is just things stacked everywhere, like it definitely has not changed. I didn't buy anything there. I think we went to 3 in total, I want to say, and I believe I got this, I don't know which shop I got this in, maybe I'll put it in the video as I'm editing, but I got this, which is a Dorothy L. Sayers, a Lord Peter Wimsey mystery. So because I really enjoy like Agatha Christie's novels, I feel like I don't really want to read, like it's really hard for me, I guess, to find another series that I think I will enjoy as much. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to read a book from another like women author and see like how that goes. And then I picked this up. I picked this one, oh so I got these 2 books in Thistle Books in Glasgow, that's what the bookmark says. I got this one because I thought it would actually be really nice to have a crime story for Christmas. This is A Very Murderous Christmas and I believe it's 12, not 12, it's a collection of short stories. Yeah, it says here on the back, 10 of the best classic crime writers come together to unleash festive havoc with murder, mayhem and twist aplenty. I just realised Anthony Horowitz is in here, so that'd be nice. I really enjoyed the Moonflower Murders series trilogy, I can't remember. And then I got this in, I think it's the Caledonian books. This is by Doris Lessing. This is a short story collection, and this is The Story of a Non-Marrying Man and Other Stories. I have read two, well, 1.5, 1.25 Doris Lessing's books. So the first one was Mara and Dan, absolutely loved it. The second one I attempted and just I could not get through it, was The Golden Notebook, so I DNF'd it. But I still think, I think as a writer she's quite varied in the different things she writes in, so I thought, you know what, I'll give a short story collection a go. And I just seemed this year, after reading like one short story collection that was like lent to me, I'm like, oh, I've been like getting back into them, so I thought I would pick this up and see how I go. I don't know when I plan to read any of the other books apart from this one, because this one I'll definitely be reading at Christmas, but I'll go around to it. And then yeah, at the end of the clip I went to this sound bath, which was just in this really gorgeous room, which I'm like, I know the history behind this room, but it was absolutely stunning. Like the setup was lovely. I didn't enjoy the sound bath very much, but the actual room and stuff like that was very, very nice. So let us talk about September and let us talk about the books that I read. So in September I completed 5 books. It was such a slow like reading month for me. I believe prior to this in the previous month's vlog, so August, I spoke about the fact that I had read 6 books and that it was like rivaling another month earlier in the year in which I'd read 6 books, and I was like, that was my lowest reads of the month so far. And then September came along. So I'm going to put the story graph kind of stats here because it does a nice little breakdown, creates a nice little graphic for you that kind of shows genres, page numbers, hours of audiobook and all that sorts of stuff. But if we talk about the books in order of, actually I'll put another story graph stat in here as well, which is their calendar view, which I really like, because there might be books that you start at the end of one month and finish in another month. So it all counts, and you will see in the month of September I started a book on the 11th, but I actually didn't finish it until the beginning of October. So that took up quite a lot of my time because the book was 700 pages long. But if we start with the first book, I'm just going to talk about it very briefly. I'm not going to dive too deeply into the plots or anything like that. But I started and finished the 3rd book in the Auntie series. I didn't even know there was a new one out. I believe she was focusing on her other series, which was like the Vera Wong one, which I read and really enjoyed actually. But I am doing a Storygraph Read Around the World challenge. And I keep forgetting about it, so I'm trying to like clean up house, and it was when I was looking for books for Indonesia that this one actually came up, and I didn't even know it was out. So I listened to it, I gave it 2.5 stars. I feel like at this point, like, I might have said this about the second one, I've actually done a video talking about like the Auntie series because I really enjoyed it so much. I think it's nice to have books, you know, especially like detective books from other cultures, and you know, it's really funny the way she portrays the aunties. I think I said this in my other video about this book, whereas the first one it was like really funny because the things that aunties were doing you could tell was very accidental. The second one felt very like played up, and so does this 3rd one. And in the 3rd one, and maybe perhaps the 2nd one as well, I just feel like now, instead of laughing like with the aunties, you know, we were always kind of laughing at them, but now we are really, really laughing at them, and I just don't like it because it feels like we're just kind of making fun of them. What really got me in this book as opposed to any of the other ones is actually the way in which like Medi, I guess, you know, narrates and just reacts to everything. To me, she sounds like a teenage girl, and it's so annoying because I just kept thinking like, how old is she? Like maybe she is actually quite young and whatnot. She narrates like a 15-year-old girl. Everything is so exaggerated. It's like she's seen everything for the first time, and it's just like so dramatic all the time. And I'm just like, like I just don't feel like it needs to be this dramatic. It feels like the actions of the aunties are seen as so much more dramatic because she is dramatic rather than because they are being dramatic, you know? So it's just a bit like, and some of the things were so funny. There's a scene in here, which I'm not going to spoil, but like, she's just like, I can't believe my aunties just did that. And I was like, I am with the aunties. Like, this young girl is like, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Like, I'm like, I'm surprised like no one thought of this the whole time when the girl was doing it. I was like, that's what I would have done. I would have been like, listen, we're not talking anymore. But yeah, so I feel like the series is going downhill for me, which is sad, but also like I felt like the audiobook was super long. It was 9 hours long, and I just thought it didn't really need to be this long because a lot of it is just so filled with like Medi's inner thoughts and all of this stuff, and I was like, we don't need any of this, like, especially because she's so dramatic. The next book that I read was Sound Healing by Fazana Ali. I know at the beginning of the year I talked about some non-fiction reads that I really wanted to read this year, so as it gets towards the end of the year. I really am trying to like clean up house and do those things, and this was available in my library, so I was really happy to see that. I found this informative. I gave it 3 stars. I didn't find like for me reading it like it taught me anything new, which surprised me because I thought like there was so little that I knew about it, so this was like quite comforting in that sense. I thought it was written in a really easy, accessible way. Like there's not a lot of like references, or hardly any references in this book, so it's not like heavy on like academic studies or anything like that. It really is just kind of her detailing how she came into it, but then all the kind of like other benefits of sound healing, and just talking you through like what a sound bath is versus like a one-to-one session, and kind of what you can expect and the kind of changes that you can expect and things like that. And it is just like a really nice accessible book. Another book that I listened to via audio is You Are the Medicine by Asher Frost. I listened to this because there's a girl that I follow on Instagram who's always recommending this book, and she's always kind of recommending it in the sense of talking about kind of like indigenous wisdom. And the subtitle for this book is 30 Moons of Indigenous Wisdom, Ancestral Connection and Animal Spirit Guidance. The bit that I found the most interesting was actually the animal spirit guidance, because I had no idea that actually there was a lot of like, I guess, mythology and stories behind this. I just kind of thought when people said like spirit animals, they were just, I don't know what I thought people were doing, but I didn't think that there is like, you know, a lot of like stories of how certain things came to be. And it was really nice hearing those stories, because I think, you know, maybe you hear the end point of the spirit animal, right? You see the spirit animal, but you don't know the backstory to it. And it was just a bit more insight into the author's like lineage and culture. I'm not familiar with her, but in the beginning of the book she talks about a kind of essay she wrote. I guess it's based on like cultural appropriation and white women, especially within the healing industry. So I definitely need to seek that out and look at it. But as a book, I gave it 4 stars. I found it was really insightful. It taught me something new, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed her tone. I like the way she spoke to people, just about kind of, you know, embracing like these different medicines and different wisdoms, but also not culturally appropriating them. Another book I finished is The Soul of a Woman by Isabel Allende. I'm looking down because my laptop is here, and this again is part of my Storygraph reading challenge. I think this was for Chile, and I've read one book by this author last year, which was Violetta, I don't know which way you will pronounce it, which I really enjoyed. And this is a non-fiction book by her, so this is her just basically talking about kind of feminism and what that was like when she was growing up and how she sees it now, and talking about her organisation that she set up, which is very much in support of women, and just kind of her life, what marriage was like for her, what raising children was like for her, and just kind of her thoughts on like, you know, the feminist movement going forward and all these sorts of things. What I liked about this book is it didn't pretend to be anything that it's not. It's simply, and it's really short, it's like 192 pages. It simply is, these are kind of my experiences and this is what it taught me. These are the kind of things that I think, and that's it. Like there's no huge tons of like academic research or anything like that, and I don't necessarily agree with some of the things she says, but what I liked about it is you can just appreciate that these are just her thoughts, and you know, if you don't agree with it, you can like keep on reading and like not take that advice. But I think from this, I really found that she was just really insightful and just, you know, has lived many lives, and I think it's one of those things that you read and you come to appreciate kind of the lessons that other people like leave behind for you. I think she is very good at sort of being like, these are the things I decided were important to me, and these are the things I've decided are not important to me, but they can be important to you, and I like that. The final book that I read was Tao Te Ching, a book about the way and the power of the way, and this is by Ursula Le Guin. Something else by her, I don't think so, but I just picked this up because it was in my library's kind of, it was like a philosophy display. I will be honest, I didn't really feel much from this. I gave it 2 stars, and there were bits that I read that I was like, oh yeah, I see, and it gave me food for thought, and I was like, I like how that's been constructed and stuff like that. But otherwise it wasn't making me feel much, you know. And I do believe she said that she had a version that her dad like read from all the time, and these are kind of just kind of, I guess she cannot like translate from the original language, but these are kind of her interpretations and understanding based on like, I guess, other kind of translations as well. I hope I have understood that correctly. But yeah, it didn't leave like a lasting impression on me, so I was just a bit like, okay, well, I'm glad I read that, but like I didn't really get much from it. So that was September. October is going a lot better already. I've read 4 books, but it's not really about like the number of books that I read, but I do feel like I am someone who does tend to get through a lot of books. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in another one.